Have you ever dreamed of taking a multi-day overland adventure? Of exploring the vast North Maine woods? But you're unsure where to start, where to camp, or how to navigate the endless maze of logging roads and side trails that shift from smooth dirt to rugged technical terrain without warning. Or maybe you've always wanted to try winter camping. But out here in the North Woods, you're worried about getting stranded in the snow with no one around to help. Join us for a 3-day adventure into Maine's remote northern frontier, where winter still clings to the mountains and snow-covered trails stretch deep into the unknown. 6 rigs set out to explore the wilds surrounding the legendary Allagash wilderness. This is no ordinary overland trip. This is 207 Overland's Northern Winter Wonderland. Day 1 of the Northern Winter Wonderland trip began in Overland, Maine. Once the full team had arrived, we fueled up, made one last supply run, and left the pavement behind. Recent rain and a brief warm spell had opened up more trails, and a few unexpected campsite options. But out here, that doesn't mean easier. The snow was still deep, the trails still unpredictable, and the North Woods still as wild as ever. As we moved deeper into the woods, the terrain kept us guessing. Snow giving way to mud, then back to snow again. Not only was the trail in a constant state of change, the weather in the North Woods was just as unpredictable. Snow hadn't been in the forecast, but after about 40 miles, fresh snowfall began. Light at first, then steady. Slowly, the trail ahead started to disappear beneath a blanket of white. As the snow grew heavier, the group was more than ready to reach camp. But with only a couple miles to go, our plans quickly changed. Our trail leader got word that a 207 Overland member, out exploring solo, had gotten stuck in a deep snowdrift. So we made a quick detour to lend a hand. This is what being part of an overland community like 207 is all about. Or even just having friends with capable rigs. Out here, you're never truly alone when you've got people willing to help. Once the recovery was wrapped up, we backed out of the trail and pushed onward, chasing the lakeside camp we had had our sights on since the afternoon.
What do you think? You think you're gonna be here, or are you gonna move?
I might shift over just a little bit,
Yeah.
but generally, yeah.
After getting camp all set up, we began unloading the firewood that everyone had brought, only to discover the fire ring was buried beneath a deep snowdrift. With snow still falling and winds cutting through camp, an open fire wouldn't offer much warmth or shelter. So we popped open the gazelle gazebo, dropped the fire can inside, and gathered around. It wasn't blazing, but it was enough to stay warm and out of the elements until everyone turned in for the night. The next morning, we woke to sunshine and clear skies, but freezing temperatures. Overnight, 2 of the rigs had frozen in place. Fortunately, it didn't take much effort to get them moving again. Soon, we were packed up and ready to begin the day's adventure. Once we left camp, we pulled into a large opening halfway down the trail so Justin could go over the plan for the day. Thankfully, temps were already climbing, and we had hoped that meant less snow along today's route.
Are we still holding, or do you guys want us to push forward?
Hang out there for a minute.
Copy.
Still pretty deep up ahead.
Oh yeah, it gets worse. So here is the report from the front line. So where I went up and around the corner and started to head down a hill on the other side, it got to the point to where I was dragging skid plates underneath. So it's starting to get pretty deep pretty quick. It could be fun to keep going. However, whoever's at the front is going to struggle most of the way, and you're going to lose or eat up a lot of gas doing it. So we either continue to push into the unknown and rotate vehicles out in the front if we're able to do so, or we back up just a few miles and go the safe route out.
I'm just over a half a tank of gas. I vote for the back out, and I think we've got a place we can turn around just behind the end of the line. But that's just my vote.
If it weren't up to my skid plates, I would be voting for continuing forward. But I guess what I'm saying is I'm not necessarily voting one way or the other. But I do think that the most logical route, so we all save our gas, would be to back out.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's always better safe than sorry sometimes, just in case, especially with fuel concerns. After getting turned around, the team regrouped and set course for our next destination, the Chamberlain Lake Picnic Area and Boat Launch, nestled along the Allagash Wilderness Waterway. Stretching 92.5 miles through Maine's North Woods, the Allagash Wilderness Waterway is a protected corridor of lakes, ponds, rivers, and streams that trace much of the iconic Allagash River. Once we arrived, we took a moment to enjoy a quick lunch and, of course, crack open the official soda of Maine. With incredible views of Mount Katahdin in the distance, it was the perfect spot to relax before hitting the trail once again. This time, in search of a Riverside camp we hoped would be accessible now that the sun was out and the snow was melting.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**.
show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness. A reflection of the emptiness, hilarious. You think you're worth my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior, inferior. You know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Gonna learn the consequence of being incompetent. Mental health is confidence, dreams and some honestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I could play a million mind games, but instead I say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and watch it go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it, I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages. A vacant, modern kingdom for the taking.
A few more hours on the trail, and we finally rolled into the Riverside camp we'd been hoping for. And to our relief, it was both accessible and unoccupied.
If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take sh**. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
Once everyone found their spots for the evening, rooftop tents and awnings started popping open, and the chairs were placed around the fire ring. With the weather finally on our side, the group decided to take advantage of the moment and do a walk-around tour of each rig. As everyone showed off their setups, they also shared a little bit about what they love most about Overlanding and why they chose to join 207 Overland on adventures just like this one.
All right, let's keep doing the tour. I want to see the hot tent over there.
I definitely do.
The outer shell is basically just a wind and a snow break. So like we can't.
Well, so I got started probably when I was maybe about 2. As a family, we've always been into camping and off-roading. When I got older, I got really into more hardcore off-roading. It kind of turned into a reckless free-for-all that was getting a lot of trails closed down. It was causing a lot of damage. It was upsetting a lot of landowners. So when the overlanding thing really started to take off and pick up speed, I got on board with it because it was bringing a lot of responsible people into it, and it was really getting trails reopened and maintaining trails, and it was bringing families out, which is something that was super important to me. With 2 kids and a wife, we love to go as a family, and it just brought everything I loved about the outdoors back to being just responsible and sustainable.
That bump out does nothing. It's a marketing tactic.
Makes it harder to put away.
It's a way for them to sell more.
You know, we knew on our very first trip when we met the people that we found our people. Like, you know, a great group of people. Every trip we've been on, everybody we've met, they've all been great people, and glad to have met them. And we always look forward to our next trip, not just for the trip and the overlanding, but to socialize with and meet new people and see old friends as well.
Everybody helps each other as well, and if anybody needs anything, everybody's right there, so it's like a family.
Platform almost.
Well,
No, I put this in here. I cut this away so that I can get into my fridge.
Oh,
And come
okay.
inside. So I think I like overlanding basically because it's an excuse to get outside. What got me started is I've always just had a love for Jeeps. You know, as a old Army veteran, I wanted to find something that got me back out and doing fun things, and this is the thing that gave it to me. We live in Maine, and so you know there's a lot to do here as far as overlanding. It's not real close to where I live, so I'm not super familiar with the area. And so joining 207 allowed me to, one, you know, find some, you know, people who knew places to go, things to do, and also the community. You know, I wanted to find some people that had the same, you know, mindset as I do. Nothing special, just basic.
Hey, it gets you where you need to go, right?
Right, and I'm comfortable enough.
There you go.
Each trip I've been on has a different group of people, but they're all super friendly. It's a welcoming community, and that's kind of what I looked for a long time, and finally found it with these guys.
And what drew you to be crazy enough to come on a winter trip where we possibly would get stuck in snow at a campsite?
Like me yesterday? I don't know. Honestly, got to try everything. Winter's just another challenge. It's been fun so far.
Got to have that sense of adventure, right?
Right, 100%. You know, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
That is, it's specific for this, but that company makes them specific for almost every vehicle.
Yeah. Do you have any idea what the general price for one is?
I think they start at a couple hundred.
Yeah.
All right, Justin, you're the founder of 207 Overland. So why did you get started in overlanding, and what do you love about it?
So I got started doing this just simply because I love exploring the unexplored, going out there and mapping new trails, seeing the things that you wouldn't normally get to see by staying on the beaten path.
Is that why you started 207?
Ultimately, I wanted to share what I had spent decades exploring and mapping out on my own with everybody else.
And what do you think draws people to overlanding?
I think having the chance to just disconnect, to get away from everything, to be able to sit at a awesome campsite like this for a weekend, or travel and see new places that you just wouldn't normally get to see just by staying in your town or taking a trip to the town next door.
And what would you say to the people who want to go on these trips, that want to join 207 as a member or experience one of your trips? Like, what do you think you should tell them in order to get them started?
If you're looking to get into something like this, I would say don't overthink it. You don't need something like this or one of the souped up vehicles that you see behind me just to get started. Most any stock four-wheel drive can do most of the things that we do. And you don't need a lot of gear to get going either. There's just a few basics that we help point you in the right direction for. And ultimately, other than that, it's just about having fun. We provide a family-friendly atmosphere that's safe, that's fun, that's an escape from the everyday life, and we have a lot of great people doing it.
The rest of the evening was spent gathered around the fire, enjoying the clear skies, the warm temperatures, and swapping stories about past adventures and the incredible places that overlanding has allowed us to explore.
It's not necessarily that I want somebody to put it together. That's not the hard part. The hard part is, like, I'd like to go get a Jeep badge, and I don't want to do it by myself. Sure. So it's not that I necessarily.
Northern Maine's weather is nothing if not unpredictable, especially in the winter. So maybe we shouldn't have been surprised by what we woke up to the next morning. After a sunny 65-degree day, overnight temperatures dropped to near 10 degrees, and a fresh blanket of snow covered our rigs. It wasn't exactly how we pictured the trip ending, but then again, this was the Northern Winter Wonderland trip. Pack up was quick, and with the promise of hot coffee and maybe some fresh food in town, the team was more than ready to head back towards civilization. Planning a remote overland trip isn't always easy, especially in the rugged, unpredictable terrain of Northern Maine. That's where an adventure led by the crew at 207 Overland makes all the difference. With routes, campsites, fuel, and supply stops mapped out in advance, you're free to focus on what really matters: the journey. No second-guessing trail choices, no scrambling to find camp after dark. For families, it's a chance to unplug and reconnect. For newer overlanders, it's an opportunity to push boundaries with the support of an experienced trail leader. And for everyone, it's a chance to share the trail and the adventure with like-minded overlanders, to trade stories by the fire, and to experience the raw beauty of the backcountries together. So if you're ready to chase adventure into the wild and make memories that last a lifetime, check out 207 Overland and start planning your own epic journey today.